Hey guys, Chris again, classicvwbugs.com, and it is 2025, guys. Happy New Year. We are kicking the year off again. What happens in January? Yes, the big auctions start in January, and it's always a good indication of what the year is going to be when it comes to the sales of our beloved vintage Volkswagen. So every year I've been doing this, and it always seems to be consistent each year. What we see happening in January pretty much dictates what's going to happen for the rest of the year. Now that the election's over, I'm hoping things start to turn around for the car a little bit. 2024 saw a little bit of a decline in sales. Prices kind of came down and leveled off. So maybe they'll start to go back up again. I'm hoping it's just a nice gradual incline. I don't like to see these huge spikes or anything like that. We just want to see a nice little hill, and that's always best for these cars, in my honest opinion. So we're going to get right to it. But before we do, something new I have that I'm doing for 2025, and that is you can book a call with me, guys. So guys, you need help with your car. You got your Volkswagen in your garage. You need help, a tip, an interior issue, mechanical issue. You need help with color combinations, whatever it is related to vintage Beetle, Volkswagen repairs, restoration. I got a link in the description below this video where you can book a call with me for an hour, and we can talk shop. And I can be in your garage virtually, pretty much in a Google Meet or a Zoom call, and we can talk about how to get your bug back on the road. How's that sound? So, link in the description below this video. So, without further ado, let's get going on the auctions, and I think it's looking pretty good. So, but before we start off with the auction, there is one car that crossed the Barrett, not the Barrett Jackson, I'm sorry, the Bring a Trailer block, I think just last week. I'm going to point that out to you right now. So, let's get to it. All right, so to kick the year off, on the 3rd of January, you see here 1950 split window Beetle that crossed the Bring a Trailer auction. And I was a little worried about this because it was sitting pretty low for a while, even towards the end. I mean, it was sitting with the last like couple hours left in the auction. It was sitting at 50 grand. And I was really curious to see, what was up with that. And maybe it was because of the new year, the holidays were just right there, and maybe just there wasn't much interest in the vehicle, but it did wind up selling for, as you see here, $73,551. Pretty good price. And it is a beautiful restoration. Again, trying to find something like this nowadays is really tough. And if you were to restore something like this, you're probably going to be spending somewhere around that, or you're even more, to get this thing restored. So most of these restorations for a split window era Beetle is going to be, 100 grand. I've heard some people paying up to 125,000 or more just for a split era Beetle. And it looks like it had the really nice Okrasa setup going on in the back, which was really nice. And it looks like it's got the nice Bordeaux red, which is one of my favorite colors, of course. And yeah, L51 Bordeaux red. It was born in May of 50. They had a nice video for it, and they had an extensive photo gallery here. So congrats on the sale of this car. I think it deserved that. Again, these are tough cars to get nowadays in really good shape. So yeah, really nice pictures. It's got a lot of the correct stuff going for it. So yeah, 1950 split window bug that crossed the Bring a Trailer auction block. So good start to the year, right? That's a really good sign, and I'm hoping this continues. So now let's go over to Mecum. Now I've rarely covered Mecum in the past. It's always been Barrett Jackson or Gooding and Company, RM Auctions. There's also Bonhams that's coming around. And Mecum, I gotta say, this is ongoing right now. This is from January 17th to the 19th in Kissimmee, Florida. And this is an extensive list of Volkswagens that are crossing the Mecum block. Now, to me, Mecum kind of is very similar to Barrett. I think they cater more towards, the American muscle. But it looks like, geez, the foreign market here is increasing here on Mecum, especially with a lot of Volkswagen. There's 3 pages of Volkswagens crossing the Mecum block here. So, and this is what I like about the Mecum site is that it's pretty friendly to just jump right into and get there. It's not too confusing. Any car you want to click on, Say, for instance, this Jolly, it'll take you right to that page, gives you a nice extensive photo gallery here. These Jollies are actually, they do very well. It's amazing. These people convert these Beetles to Jollies, and they're just fun beach cars. They're great for hotels, actually. They use these for hotel rentals, for cars that are near, like, say, say down here in Florida or in, anywhere, any beach area. These are very popular, even in Hawaii. So very, very cool. But if you keep scrolling, they give you the complete photo gallery, and it's pretty simple to navigate this. So I can tell this is a Brazilian car. How could you tell this is a Brazilian car, guys? And the one thing that stuck right out at me is that horn button. How about that? That's how you know that is a Brazilian make. Or the gasolina fuel gauge that you see to the right of the speedometer. Pretty funny. So, but yeah, I mean, very, very cool. They got a really good setup here, and it's very easy to navigate the Mecum website. Let's see what else they have going here. 66 coupe. I like this. This looks like our beautiful sea blue, which I love sea blue. Always a standout color in my eyes when it comes to one of the best colors that Volkswagen did. It's from 64 to 66. And at least they give you all the details here. Nicely laid out. It seems like it's a very cool layout that they have and very user friendly. So like that very much. So when we look at some of these buses, now these are some true buses here, or type, the campers. Uh, what we saw a lot last year, if you don't remember, was a lot of older looking, later model buses converted to look earlier. Now, getting a Brazilian bus, it's already converted pretty much. We have a Brazilian bus at our shop now, and it's like a 72 or 73 model Brazilian bus, and it looks like a 62 bus. So it's got a lot of mismatch on it as well. So like there's some parts on it that might be a little bit later, and then some are a little bit earlier. It's so funny how those Brazilian buses are just kind of seems like they were the leftover parts, right? But here's a nice 52 split window crossing the block, a 50 58 Type 2 23 window bus, very cool there. So there's a lot crossing here. Let's see what this 52 looks like. Hmm, very nice. So this is probably a Zwitter, or at least it should be, because I can see the late model horn grills there, but it does have a ribbed bumper. So what's happening? Let's see what we got here. Yep, so it's got the hard tail lights, although it should be Zwitter model. Looks like it's got the trim in the windows, which was also Zwitter model only. The dash should be oval. Same with the deck lid is Zwitter, oval, Zwitter-esque. But it looks like I guess they just opted to get the ribbed bumper to put on there. So yes, definitely a Zwitter, oval window dash. Looks like it's got the correct herringbone interior. Got your pillows there. I love those pillows. Those were always very cool. We always add those to our cars there. So three spoke wheel. So got some customization. Cut a couple things here that are say period correct, but makes it all look nice. Makes it all look very cool. Now interesting. It's got the chrome bezel around the ashtray door. So is this a conversion? That's the one question. So little things you can spot out here. Thankfully, this is what you got to look for, guys. And I've pointed this out in a lot of my videos in the past of what to look out for before buying a bug. We're getting to a time here where you got to have a really keen eye with what's correct and not correct. And thankfully, now we're at a point where these auctions, they want good, they're gonna display good pictures for you. It was early on when I was getting into this business, I was amazed what was, or still even what's getting listed on, say, eBay, very limited pictures and poor pictures, but that's very cool. Fuel tank there. Nice. Like that a lot. Now, Zwitter would have had the thinner neck on the gas tank, not this big fat neck. So we'd have to read a description here and see what's going on with this car, if it's a true Zwitter or not, or if it's an oval maybe turned into a Zwitter, that kind of thing. But nevertheless, it's a pretty good looking car. So this is Meek. Wow, look at that. I never seen a 2003 Volkswagen turned into a pickup. So people do the wackiest things, guys. You know, we've seen this happen. So very cool. So let's quickly just go to page 3 and just see. So okay, so here's a 71 Volkswagen Type 2 bus, but you know this is not 71. Or again, it's a Brazilian model bus. So if we scroll down, I mean, okay, so here, there you go. There's your serial number right there. BH, your VIN. Nothing true Volkswagen out of Germany or German model Volkswagen that came out of the German factory started with letters. So everything was numbers. So this BH in the beginning is maybe it's the engine number, but if that's the VIN number on the chassis or the body, it's most likely your Brazilian model there. So let's see. Yeah. I mean, it's got all the right looks to it. And some people, you know, if it is, even if it is a Brazilian model, they don't care. This looks cool. And you pay way less than, you know, going with a Brazilian model than to the German counterpart, right? So just be on the lookout for stuff like that, guys. And then here's another Volkswagen here, but made to look like a Porsche. So you got a lot of those too, those kit cars. We actually sold one of those recently through our site. I had a 57 Speedster Porsche for sale, sold in a day, but it was sitting on a 69 Beetle chassis. But it sold in a day. I mean, once I listed it on Facebook, it was gone. So I think for the most part, there's a lot of people out there that don't care too much about the correctness. They just want a good looking car. So even here, see a 74 Type 2 bus. I mean, it's definitely older looking. Same with here, 74 and 72. So you're going to see a lot of those. All right, so that's Mecum, guys. You can just go to mecum.com. It's very simple to go to their website and take a look at what's happening in the world of EWs with that auction. And then the following week, which will be next week, is Scottsdale. The 18th to the 26th is when Barrett Jackson kicks off. And you know Barrett Jackson has got famous Barrett Jackson and went to their website. So they still have some broken pictures here of what Volkswagens are crossing the block. I guess they're going to have to update that soon. But their list is not as extensive as the Mecum. Mecum definitely has a lot. I think Mecum's auction is also way longer. It's going on. It's going to have way more days on the auction block than Barrett. But you can scroll through here. So this is what a 72 Volkswagen Type 2 would kind of look like. But you know they do sell paneling and these days that you can convert them. So yeah, this is Barrett. Again, here's another Acapulco version or Jolly for a thing. I think I've seen this thing cross the block once before in the past, and very interesting. These do very well. People really like the fun factor of those. Yes, there's a 75 micro. At least they say here microbus recreation. That's exactly what it is. Okay, another recreation. Oh, there's a bunch of recreations right here. So a lot of bus. Gosh, but one page only. So Mecum definitely eclipses Barrett in this respect for this year. Very, very cool. So definitely keep an eye on this. Now, what's great about these websites, guys, you can watch all this stuff live. It's all streaming, you know, nowadays. So you don't have to tune into your cable channel to watch these auctions. And then we'll get to and when I went to RM auctions, which is usually just one day they have their auction. They only had a 67 bus come across. So that's all they have going. And I always liked these auctions just because RM and Gooding and Bonhams, it seems like they cater more to the European cars. And you'll see a lot of exotic cars across their blocks, but it seems like they cater more. They do some muscle, but it seems like Mecum and Barrett are more the muscle car market, and auctions like Gooding and RM are the opposite. They're a little more catering to the European market. But once again, pretty simple to get to their website. They all have extensive photo galleries and details about what is crossing the block. So, if most of these auction houses, they'll pretty much take like 10% commission. If you were to sell one of your cars on one of their blocks, they're going to take a commission. Here's the chassis number for a real Boss. That's from the German factory. There's no letters in front. The engine number, yes, would have letters depending on what year engine you have. If you have like a 1300 and later, they're going to have a letter in front of the numbers. But the chassis and body would always just have numbers. That's how you can distinguish maybe if it's a Brazilian model or not. But yeah, hopefully this will give us an indication of what's happening. I'm going to keep an eye on these auctions, and I'll definitely report back to all of you guys in regards to what we saw and what kind of market, what 2025 is going to look like. And I know some people might think this is kind of boring to talk about this stuff, but I think when you're an owner, an operator of a business like what I have, or if you are even in the hobby, it's always a good idea to kind of keep this in the back of your mind and just kind of monitor things and see how things are going. So, and it's fun, why not? This is what makes the hobby fun as well. So, but all right, guys, that is that video for this week. If you guys have any questions, have any comments, leave it in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts on what's happening or what's gonna happen with the auctions coming around, and love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, all the best. Take care.